Welcome to Septaria Groves Across the Realms event. This is Meditation 1. Find a place to relax and get settled in. You will need to be completely relaxed. Breathing is very important and will help you to sink down into a meditative state. I want you to close your eyes. Take in a few deep breaths. As you do, the energies of the solar garden will come to you. You will align with it and its purpose. On the first breath, your body will begin to relax. You feel peace and calm wash over you. On the second breath, your emotions will relax and all the worldly stresses leave you. On the third breath, your mind will relax and allow for you to travel into the solar garden with ease. Your body is nice and relaxed. You are now in a deep state of relaxation. I will begin with a countdown of 10. As I do, your body will float deeper into a state of calmness. You feel grounded and safe. Remember that you want to do this and welcome it with open arms. Feel the energy of the solar garden wash over you. You are completely and utterly safe. 10, 9. You feel the sun wash over your face and arms. It's a little warm. 8, 7. Nice and easy breathing. You are sinking deeper into the energies. You begin to feel warmer. 6, 5, 4. It's nice and warm. The sun shining brightly down on you. You feel alive, like you stepped out after a cold winter. 3, 2, and 1. You open your eyes to see that you are standing in the center of a rounded garden. Behind you, there is a trickling of a fountain. To your right is a nice wooden bench. The wind blows lightly, and you can smell the scent of sweet daffodils on the air. Beneath your feet are stones that lead to a path that goes around the garden. Each path is colored slightly different. You know this place. It feels like peace and happiness. There are many archways around the garden that you can barely see. You spot a darker path, the stones colored purple and green, reminding you of peacocks. You step on the path, seeing the garden change. The plants change from bright gold to yellows to the darker purples and greens. There are some blue ones that hang like bells, and others that are shaped like cones. Hyacinth, the wind whispers. You smile and continue to walk along the stone path. It isn't long before you reach an interesting piece of architecture in the middle of the path. Everything stops in place around it, not allowing you to see past. It's an archway, a beautiful one that is dark stone. Around it are sharp purple vines with peculiar white flowers. In the corners of each arch are shining webs, their silks rippling with many colors. Taking in a deep breath, you take a step forward and allow yourself to go through the archway. You open your eyes, not realizing that you had closed them, and you see the landscape around you. The air is a bit colder, but not by much. It's darker, though that would be from the towering canopy of trees surrounding the outcropping. In front of you are two humanoid figures. They are a mixture between peacock and human, with long, beautiful plumages flowing from the waist. Their legs are long and akin to a peacock's. They have masks on, covering their features except for their mouths, which were set in welcoming smiles. The first one is a male, towering over the second figure. His coloring is pitch black except for the ends of his plumage, which were a bright green and purple. The other was the exact opposite, having the colors of the brightest opal white with light pastel plumage. She was more slender and had a dark side cloak made of the most elegant silks. On her head was a delicate gold crown. "Welcome to our realm, solar traveler," the queen spoke with a gentle voice. It carried power with it, what made you feel at ease. "We have been waiting for you. I'd like to introduce myself. I am Queen Zala. This is our chrysalis sorcerer, Zakith, who will be joining us for your time here. Shall we begin?" The queen held out her hand and you joined her, walking together through a well-worn path. "We are pleased to host you for this event," she said. "In fact, we understand that there are big plans for rituals ahead. Therefore, we are introducing you to a part of our culture that is very well known. One of our best arachnid spinners will start your journey into the solar event. We are gifting those who travel with a set of ritual clothes for their use. You may keep them after the event is complete, as a token of gratitude for exploring our world." You arrive at another clearing, this time with a bright tent. In front are two pale Pavo, one male and one female. The queen and sorcerer stop, and she gestures to the tent. "Please step over to the tent. One of our apprentices will take your measurements. We will wait here." You step over to the bright tent, noticing that it is sectioned over into 3 sections. Stopping in front of the Pavo, one steps forward with a smile. You see that one section is for those who are masculine, for those who have no gender, and those who are feminine. You follow your Pavo apprentice into the section that best fits you. There, you are offered the option of a bodysuit that covers the appropriate parts, if you desire. Once settled, the apprentice steps in with a measure and takes down notes as you are guided through the motions of measuring. Arms up, legs slightly apart. The apprentice stops and asks permission each time there is a closer touch needed. You finish and are handed a white silk robe. You cover yourself and step back out to see the smiling face of the queen. The sorcerer nods his head in approval before moving first. This time, you walk alongside the sorcerer. His voice is a dark timbre. "The arachnid spinners are masters of the weaving silks. Our culture has used these silks in not only clothing, but with our illusion and shifting abilities. They allow for us to move and shift without worry. Most of the ritual garb contains protections woven within. Our spinner will be making you a ritual garb that suits you, looking into the web of fate in which he is able to weave. He will know what best is for you." The walk is quiet for a bit, but you gaze at the surroundings. It's darker this time, the forest deeper and the trees cluttered closer together. The robe kept you warm as the air chilled a little bit more. It was still comfortable and peaceful, but you felt the shift of energy in the air. It was old. There was an ancient presence that swept through these parts. You stopped before a giant tree, with many branches hanging around. There were silks and webs covering every inch of these branches, some with bright colors, and others with muted dark ones. The roots of the trees were strong and sturdy, but there was a large gap. The arachnid spinner stepped out when the 3 of you reached a spot close in the front. The spinner was massive, close to the size of an elephant. His head was pointed like a rounded diamond, and instead of the normal rounded shape. The body was pitch black and sleek, not a hair on it. Instead, it shone like oil, the colors of the body rippling when light hit it in a certain manner. "Welcome, solar traveler. I have awaited your coming." The queen stepped forward with a slip of paper, odd symbols drawn on it. The arachnid glanced at it before nodding to the queen. "Come, traveler. I wish to see more of you." Stepping closer to the spinner, the sorcerer stepped alongside you. Watching him, it reached one of its legs to a long hanging branch. A softball-sized ball of silk was placed in your waiting hands. "I wish to see what and who you are, what these rituals will bring you. Hold on to this ball tight, and then when you drop it, when you feel ready." Taking a deep breath, you feel your energy rise up and down your arms. It pulses and feels alive within you. You are warmer. There's something. It's building within you. And you watch as the silk ball in your hands glows with energy. What color do you see? You give it another moment and you drop the ball. The arachnid gets close when he sees it drop and examines the webs that scatters when it breaks. There is some humming and ahas before he steps back. "I see who you are. Now tell me something, solar traveler. What do you seek most for these rituals?" You take a moment to think about your answer before telling him. He is silent as you talk. "I see and know you now. Would you like for me to weave your ritual garb?" You nod your head and step back as the arachnid smiles. It is slightly predatory, but you feel a giddiness rise inside. You get something of your own for this. The spinner moves fast, 4 of his legs moving throughout the madness of the silks that are hanging. He gathers many of them, and others you can see yet. But you will. Into position, you watch the spinner begins to shimmer. It is light at first, but the longer that he weaves, the brighter the aura becomes. You stare at the webs turning into silk, then into cloth. Before your eyes, your garb takes shape. The aura gets bright, and you turn your eyes for just a brief moment when the light dies down. The sorcerer nods his head, and you look back to the spinner. The queen is standing in front, gathering the clothes under her arms with gentle movements. She turns, and you can see that the garment within it is opulent, and it takes your breath away. The sorcerer bows to the arachnid spinner, and the queen bows her head as well. Following their lead, you thank the spinner, but he has disappeared into the roots once more. The walk back to the tent was much shorter, and you are ushered in. The same apprentice helps you into it, and you step out from behind the flaps. The garb is the softest silk that you have ever felt, rippling around you like water. It was lighter than it should be, and there was a dull glow to them from the magics woven within. There was a clapping, and the queen smiles brightly at you, twirling her fingers so that you move around to show it off. "How wonderful! He is the best, and it clearly shows. This is perfect for you." The queen claps once more and gestures to the sorcerer. He inclines his head before the air in front of him shimmers. You watch as it begins to solidify and take shape. You stare at your reflection, seeing the ritual garb in its entirety. What do you see? Take note of the colors, the shapes. How does it look? Spend as much time as you need. You set back through the path, returning to the spot that you first met the Pavo. It is your choice if you wish to speak with them as you do. You step into the clearing, seeing that there is a bright golden archway covered in flowers and carved with many shapes. The Queen gestures for you to return. Thank you, Solar Traveler. You have been a lovely guest, and we hope to see you sometime soon. May you go with peace and grace. The Queen stepped back before shimmering out of view, her body fading away to return back to her own community. Solar Traveler, take care of those robes and use them well. They serve a purpose for you, though only time will reveal what it is. The arachnid spinner sees well to the future and knows when you will need them once more. Do enjoy. With this, he fades away as well. You step forward through the archway and find yourself staring at the familiar path. This time, you can see the solar garden in front of you. In the distance of each path, you can see that there are a few other archways, some brighter and some radiating more energy than others. Your eyes catch a bright golden one, covered with gems and carvings. Soon, you think, you will know the secrets that one will bring to you. Your steps are more sure this time, feeling comfortable and confident in your new wardrobe. The familiar scent of the citrus and daffodils greet you. The fountain is in plain view, and you smile at the sight. It's a large piece of amber that is in the center of 7 different forms, each one of the races of the event being represented. You find yourself sitting on the bench. You listen to the water before closing your eyes. It is now time for you to come back to us. We will be doing a countdown from 10, and as we do, you will return with your memories of what happened. You will feel refreshed and revitalized. You will recall everything that you experienced with clarity. 10, 9, 8, 7. You feel yourself coming back, light and free. 6, 5, 4, 3. You are here in the world. Your energy is light, and you walk with confidence. 2 and 1. Welcome back. Take a moment to stretch and recall what you have experienced. You did wonderful. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you again soon.